so it's way cheaper. Assalamu alaikum guys, here is Sufyan with another vlog, and in today's vlog I'm gonna talk about how much money you need to spend 30 days in China, whether being student or as a traveler. I will talk the general prices here in China. I'm gonna share my experience, like how much I spent. First we will talk about if you are going to cook by yourself. The first thing is your meal, and if you are gonna cook by yourself, I cook by myself because I don't like food from outside. You know, when you will come to China, there are a lot of cultural difference or other things if you are coming from different countries. So at the end you have to cook by yourself, and it's way cheaper. It's way cheaper if you cook by yourself. I will calculate everything in front of you and you can decide by yourself. One more thing guys, if you are from like Asian countries, Indonesia, Malaysia, China, Japan, or their main meal is rice. On the other hand, if you go to Central Asia or Middle East countries, their main meal is wheat, like the bread. They use bread. Some countries they take it in form of roti. We call it roti, by the way. Some call it naan or different names they use wheat. So we'll calculate the prices for both, and you can choose by yourself. So if you're a single person living in a hostel and you decided to cook by yourself, if you are a single person, you need a 5 kg chicken for a month, and it's gonna cost you like 60 yuan. Rice for 1 month is gonna be 5 kg and it's gonna cost you 25 to 30 RMB. If you take Chinese rice, if you buy like rice from my country like Pakistan, it's gonna really cost you expensive here. But Chinese rice are cheap. By the way, I'm telling you, if somebody is from Pakistan, Pakistani rice are gonna cost you here like 70 to 80 RMB for 5 kg. Okay, then oil you need like 2.5 liter is enough for 1 month. It's gonna cost you 30 RMB. The other things that you need to make different kind of meals, potato, onions, tomatoes, they are gonna cost you like around about for a month is gonna cost you 35 to 40 RMB. The eggs are gonna cost you 14 to 15 RMB, 30 eggs for a month if you take 1 egg a day in a breakfast. Okay, the milk 12 liters is enough for 1 month for one person, and it's gonna cost you 60 to 70 RMB. Then we're gonna talk about if you buy like beans, chickpeas, sugar, tea, or other things, small like spaghetti. All these small things are gonna cost you like 40 to 45 RMB. But if you want to buy like particularly roti or naan or something like that, it's gonna cost you for a month. It's gonna cost you 60 to 70 RMB. Okay, and if you like noodles, well, one time I bought noodles for like 30 packs. It was a big carton and it was too cheap, like 15 RMB for one big pack. And from that, by the way, I don't like noodles for myself. And the last thing, if you buy the bread, for myself it was like 80 pieces of bread, and it cost me 20 RMB for 80 pieces of bread. So if you calculate the whole price of like all these grocery I told you, it's gonna cost you 474 RMB. If you like roundabout it, it's gonna cost you like 500 RMB. So it's way cheaper if you cook by yourself. But the first time you need to spend some money to buy like some dishes, some cooker, pan, or these things where you are gonna cook. For that I have calculated those things also. If you buy like a good pan, it's gonna like a normal pan is gonna cost you 30 RMB. A rice cooker, if you buy a normal, it's gonna cost you 30 RMB. A good one costs you 50 RMB. And like spoons, knife, or like these crockery things, plates or other stuff, all sets is going 20 25 are going to cost you. The main thing is going to be stove on which you are going to cook. And by the way, if you are living in the hostels, gas stoves are not allowed, so you have to buy the electric stove for cooking, and it's going to cost you 60 to 70 RMB, a good stove that you can buy. Okay, and that all these, if we calculate these all things, is gonna cost you 300. So first time you have to pay, like if you calculate the per meal, first time it's gonna cost you 800 RMB, 500 for your grocery and 800 for dishes and cooking stuff or stuff or like these things. Okay, so this was the cost for the meal. Definitely you are not living on the Antarctica or somewhere there, that you just only eat, sleep, eat, sleep. Students make a big mistake. They only count the expenses of the meal, and they said, okay, we can, the meal is so cheap and we can stay there and all these things. But there are other expenses also. So we are going to talk about transportation. For transportation, generally average distance on the bus is going to cost you 2 RMB, and on the metro is generally cost you 4 RMB. It depends on the station, but generally it's got like 4 RMB and 2 RMB for the bus. And there are some discount cards. If you come to China, you can buy those cards, and if you buy those cards, after that you have to pay for the metro. If you take the bus after metro, it's gonna be free. Okay, but if you don't take public transportation, and if you buy electric bike here, everybody here in China, mostly like 80 or 90% people use here electric bikes. So if you buy electric bike here, normal one is gonna cost you like, it starts from 1000 RMB. The medium one gonna cost you like 1500 RMB, and the good one is gonna cost you like 2000 or above 2000 RMB. So this was the if you buy the bike. The last thing we are going to talk about, if you travel, like if you are a tourist, and even like students, they like to travel in vacation one city to another city. So we talk about if the train tickets from one city to another city, if the area is like around 100 to 300 kilometers, if you take the slow train, it's going to cost you like 30 to 40 RMB, and if you take high-speed train, it's going to cost you 70 to 100 RMB. But the distance, if you are traveling from 300 kilometers to 800 kilometers by slow train, it's going to cost you 60 to 80 RMB, and if you go by high speed, it's going to cost you 100 to 180 RMB. Okay, and if your distance is more than 800 kilometers within the China, by slow train, it's going to cost you 200 to 400 RMB, and by high-speed train, it's going to cost you 500 to 900 RMB. And guys, one interesting thing in China, sometimes high-speed train is more faster than the plane. So the last thing I'm going to talk about, the average hotel prices. Students also in vacation, they go to different places, they spend their time, so you should know about that. And if you're a traveler, you should also know about this thing, that how much is one day, one night you are going to spend, and if you book hotel, how much is it cost. So generally, if you buy like a double room for 2 person, it's gonna cost you 150 RMB to 300 RMB. These are the normal ones that you can buy. Sometimes they give discounts, so at that time you can book the hotel at like around 100 RMB. Even I book sometime 80 RMB or 100 RMB with the discount. So it depends on the situation, your city, or all other stuff, but generally I'm talking about 150 to 300 RMB costs you. And the last thing is the taxi. Generally the taxi prices start from 8 to 9 yuan, and it goes further according to the kilometers that you cover, but the minimum is going to cost you like 8 RMB to 9 RMB. Even you cover just 100 meter, it doesn't matter. So these are the all costs. I told you that monthly that you have to spend the money here. In general, if I talk about like totally how much, if you are a student, and it's gonna cost you 700 to 1000 RMB, you can take it to 1500 RMB or all this, but always make your budget flexible, because sometimes there are things happen that you have to spend money. So always make your budget flexible and more than what you expect that you are gonna spend. Okay, that I told you with the transportation, the hotels, and the traveling, taxes, all these things. So if this video helps you, subscribe to your brother's channel who is giving you all this information. See you guys.